Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Good morning and welcome to the Sticks Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds with me, Terry Sullivan. I can't believe it's the first week of April. Where's the year gone? Well, the guest today, well, he's the legendary singer from Marilion, the legendary Fish. He's going to be joining me after we've heard from his band Marilion. This is the classic song, Kaylee. My guest today, if you hadn't already guessed, is Fish from Marilion, or Fish, formerly of Marilion, and we just heard his song, Kaylee. Good morning, Fish. How are you doing?
I'm doing rather well, thank you very much.
Good. I mean, that is an iconic song. I mean, It's the one that I think everybody wants to hear, isn't it?
I think it's obviously everybody wants to hear. I'd say I think it's the one that most people kind of know my old band from, and know my history with the band from. It was an iconic song, at an important time, and of course, the Misplaced Shelter album was kind of, it was introduced to people in the back of Cayley. I think a lot of people, it kind of threw a lot of people because we only had Script and Fugazi up to that point. And and everybody kind of saw us as being, art college kind of progressive rock Genesis clones, and then suddenly Cayley came out and threw everybody's perceptions of where we were at. Yeah. And as I said, it introduced the album, and I think a lot of people, when they heard the album, they got pulled into the band, and it catapulted us. It was a strange song, it was a strange song and a strange album, and as far as I've got a sort of love-hate relationship with it. I love this song and I love the album, which is why I'm out there, doing it as the performances on this Farewell to Childhood tour. But at the same time, it was the album that kind of signalled the end of the band. The success that the album brought along with it brought along, a whole conundrum of problems.
Yeah. It often happens, though, that success with bands, you get the infighting and they sort of implode.
Well, I think it was so much that. It was like suddenly we went from being a gang to, we were a gang that was kicking about and we were aiming for stuff. And then suddenly, we hit that league. And, our approach to the business changed. And, of course, there was a lot of people that suddenly were attracted to the success, and a lot of people were feeding off that success.
Yeah.
And, in very much the same way as, the Spaniards with the Incas, there was a lot of kind of diseases brought in, and as far as like psychological stuff goes, and, awareness of money, awareness of business, and suddenly it wasn't a game anymore. It was suddenly, something that was on a different league. And we had to learn very quickly, and we had to adjust very quickly, and the fame and the fortune that it brought along, had different effects on different people within the band, And I think as a front man, I think because you are the front man, it hits you first, and you're the first one that's got to deal with it. I mean, everybody wanted to talk to me, the other four guys. I was, the big 6'5" Scottish guy called Fish that, was still just at that point, finish off with the makeup. And I think, ego-wise, I struggled for a bit to get my balance again. So, I mean, as I said, I love the album. And, I've already said that, I'm planning to retire in 2018. And, in the farewell tour, I didn't want to play huge chunks of that album. And I felt that it deserved one final set of performances, as a complete album, because that was how it was written, that was how it was recorded. It was written as basically really one piece of music.
So I can't believe it's actually 30 years since that came out.
Yeah, I know, it's 31 now.
31? Yeah, of course it was 2015. Sorry, it was 85, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it first came out, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not afraid, it was great times. But, I mean, I must ask you, get this out of the way, where does the name Fish come from?
Oh, God. It's like frequently asked questions.
Is it?
Basically, a very short version, staying in the bath for too long. It was, I used to have an old Scottish landlady when I was working in forestry way up north, and she decided to try and eke some more money out of me, and she decided I was only allowed one bath a week, and any subsequent bath cost me 20 pence, so she could make an extra quid. And I was lucky that I was working in a community centre at the time at nights. So I used to get my showers up there, but the Thursday night when I wasn't working, I used to spend an hour and a bit in the bath, and I've been the cliched, stereotypical old Scottish tea-drinking landlady. There was only one toilet in the house, so it used to give me great satisfaction to hear her open the door and go next door to the neighbours for a pee. And it was a friend of mine that came in and waited on me for ages, and she never told me he was in the house. And he said, are you some sort of fish or something? Never a name like Derek William Dick, you kind of embrace a nickname pretty fast.
Yeah.
Teenage life at school was hell.
I was going to say, knowing as I remember, it's a long while since I was at school, but kids are they take no prisoners, do they?
Yeah. But I think that's what I learned. I think I learned, my aptitude as a frontman. I think that was my first base apprenticeship. I mean, the thing, I took the Woody Allen school of thinking on board, and it's like if you can make people laugh with you, then it's a lot better than having people laugh at you. So, I developed, a fast line of patter, and I developed a good positive defence system. So, and like I said, it served me well when I moved into front of band, because, when I joined Marilion, it was pretty much my first real serious band. Even though in 1981 when I joined, it was we were still playing minor places, and I've got fond memories of playing the Starting Gate at Milton Keynes way back then.
Well, I'm afraid that's no longer there. So
yeah, so I heard. But I mean that was our old killing ground. I mean, when we first started in Aylesbury, and we decided, we were gonna have to, we weren't a fashionable band by any extent of the imagination, and we had to go out and play live. And that was when I adopted the face makeup. We found props, and we had what was really, for a pub band, quite an elaborate little, stage show,
Yeah.
And I think, we played, around about Bedford, Aylesbury, obviously, because that was kind of our hometown. I mean, Dave Stops and Friars were played a major point and a huge contribution to the band's success, And but I mean, that was the idea. We toured in these circuits all around, Oxford, and then stretched out, and then eventually into the Marquee Club in London, and that became our home turf in London. And it was just through playing all those gigs that we got to the notice of the A&R guys, and when we signed the record deal, I mean, we had quite a substantial following. I mean, everybody thought that the band came from nowhere, but by the time we signed, we'd done like 160 shows or something, which was a lot for a band at that time.
So you have a bit of a soft spot for Aylesbury, and you're coming home. We'll go through the date towards the end. Round in the 80s, you said you sort of bucked the trend. You were sort of really, should we say, almost a 70s prog rock band?
Yeah, well, our influences were progressive rock. I mean, I think, the NME and the ilk had thought that they destroyed, the progressive rock. I mean, Genesis and Yes had really become, very much dinosaurs. The music was kind of stagnant, around about then, and the press, turned on them quite rightfully in favour of, something that was far more vibrant and exciting. And they thought they'd buried it, because, I mean, I think that genre was probably the most hated amongst most of the young journalists at that time. But we went underground, and like I said, we came through the live circuit, we came through a pub circuit, and, the people that were coming along to see us were people that, they didn't really listen to what the press was saying. They weren't interested in that. And the fashionable aspects of music, they just wanted to hear the music they wanted to hear, and at the time we were providing it. It was a very 70s sound, because everybody in the band at that point was influenced by the big kingpins of the progressive rock scene.
And thank goodness the pub scene seems to be coming back, because it went through a little lull a few years ago, and now the sort of pub live scene seems to be back on big time, I think, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's because the music business has changed. I mean, when we signed the deal with EMI in 1982, the formats there were vinyl and cassette, and the first album that came out on CD for Marilion was Misplaced Sheltered, and when you look at the changes in the business now, I mean, we were told way back in the early 80s when we signed deals that it's our publishing and our copyrights and everything were going to be our pensions, but thanks to Spotify and Dweezer and streaming and illegal downloading and piracy and stuff, our kind of income from recorded music has been cut from beneath us. Therefore, a lot of people are going out into the live arena. A lot of bands, the only way they can really survive is by playing live. And at the same time, there's a lot of younger bands that are using Facebook, using social media, and they're able to integrate that with what they're doing, with their live performances, to create a following, in very much the same way as Marilion did back then. They've had to go underground themselves. They can't rely on just being noticed by record companies and being signed up. And in all honesty, signing into a record company these days is a kind of very old-fashioned way to go about things.
Yeah, there's a lot of people sort of come through the back door. I mean, one of the most famous ones who did the YouTube was a lady called Sandy Tom.
Yeah.
I remember her. She comes from Scotland herself, I believe. And but when you were at school, did you see yourself as being always wanted to be a singer or performer?
Not really. I want to be an archaeologist.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I want to join the army.
Really?
Well, I was too big for tanks.
Yeah,
I refused to walk about with a rucksack.
Yeah, and I'm guessing in the music business you probably dug up a few old fossils over the years.
Oh yeah, I still know a few fossils.
So, when you mentioned sort of you growing up, and how did you actually get into singing? You know, how did it all start?